Good morning and welcome to episode 1684 of Hard Factor. It is Monday, April 7th, 2025. Thank you for cheating on the news with us. 80% accuracy guaranteed on this podcast. Patreon.com/Hard Factor if you need more Hard Factor. Today, Pat's going to lead us off. And I love the camo brunt hat, Pat. It looks fantastic.
You know I'm always camo with that brunt workwear. It's really sick. I got the boots and the hat workwear.
Yeah. Oh, the boots, by the way. We got a great video coming in the next brunt ad from listeners. Shout out, Adam.
Boots are great. Real cute thing happened to me yesterday. I said, Cash, let's go do some construction. He said, I got to put on my construction boots first and then put on my gigantic brunt boots and walk out with both feet inside them.
That's awesome. But I tried to get my son to wear the brunt hat by his toy trash truck. It didn't work. He refused the hat. He's not a big hat guy.
We got a toy trash truck over here. Maybe I'll give that a try. It's a great idea. I like that idea.
Yeah. You gotta have a toy trash truck.
Yeah, boys, I'm kicking it off with the Supreme Court race in North Kakalaki. You'd think it'd be over, but it ain't. It ain't.
Okay.
Even though it was decided in November. Some weird stuff going on down there. Weird stuff. We're gonna get into it.
Interesting. I'm excited to hear about it. I don't know what's going on down there.
Okay.
Over
We're
there.
gonna figure it out. We're gonna figure it out.
I've got some court-related stuff too. AI court-related stuff.
Hey.
In the New York State Supreme Court. Yeah.
Hell yeah. A lot of Supreme Court heavy episode.
A
Yeah.
lot of court. We're gonna be taking it to court today. Fantastic. I wore my my best attire, Ovechkin jersey. So
He set the record.
Big news.
Technically, my best shirt now. I mean, always was, but now, especially now.
Yeah, if you missed it,
Top goal
Ovechkin,
scorer.
great 8 eclipsed the great 1 for the most goals scored of all time in the NHL. I've never seen anything like that in an NHL world-class organization, but they just stopped the game. I mean, the game just stopped.
Well, it reminded me of Cal Ripken. Like when Cal Ripken broke the Iron Man streak, that's kind of what it was like. It's
so
that
the difference was, Will. The difference was
big of a record.
They stopped the game for as long as a crowd applauded and let them do a victory lap. This they rolled a podium out.
Full ceremony. Full ceremony. Red carpet.
Just speeches.
It was like a 25-minute, presentation.
Gretzky give his speech mid-game?
Mid-game.
100%.
Mid-game.
Yeah.
The wives exchanged, Gretzky and Ovechkin's wives exchanged gifts mid-game. It was pretty cool. I mean, but the Caps, I mean, you knew they lost the game, but it didn't matter. I mean, he broke the record. It was great.
All right, now back to the action.
How do you get back to it after that?
Yeah, you're the team.
Someone's going to get hurt. Yeah.
Exactly. Well, I'm glad nobody did. It was like no injuries, but they just didn't, they didn't score again the rest of the game.
They
They put a carpet on the ice.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
The game's usually over then. But no, I mean, it was such a big, that's the reason why, because it was such a big record. Nobody thought it would be broken. But speaking of Ovechkin, we'll bring him up again a little bit later. We have news ended today's show about guys being dudes. So multiple stories, not just Ovechkin.
Ovechkin's man's man.
Dudes being guys.
Yeah.
It's just dude stuff, man stuff. Man Time magazine. That's the final segment of today's show.
Man
time. Also, Tiller says Willie got the Walton Goggins going. Yes, I have a receding hairline like Walton Goggins.
Mm-hmm.
He's making it cool again, so that's great.
Yeah.
It's great for all of us.
Who doesn't have a receding hairline? I mean, Jesus.
Yeah.
I got one. I saw a funny tweet.
I got that gog in me.
Yeah, we're all gogging it up. I saw a funny tweet about Goggins' hairline, and it said like along the lines like Walter Goggins making receding hairline sexy, and then Turkish Airlines wrote no.
Yeah, that was a great meme.
All the guys got a turkey.
Oh yeah, that flat hairline. It's amazing.
Yeah. Real quick, I don't know if you guys been keeping up with it. I've been trying to find out if our president has officially won the senior golf tournament at Mar-a-Lago because the White House put a statement out on Saturday that he qualified for the club championship again. I mean,
right?
What do you expect? But haven't
Is
seen
he like
any news.
30-time champ so far. What is he going for?
He's a big winner. He's a big winner.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any news yet about it. I've been checking all the wires and stuff. I guess I should get on X, but I know what it's going to tell me on X.
Also, congrats to the UConn women who won the championship by 23 points, and they won the Final Four by 34 points.
That's a favorite stepping up, unlike
they were
Wow.
2 seed, but they were the favorite. They did win it easily, and unlike Duke, yes, as you're alluding to, Duke blew it. One of the biggest collapses in history. Now, obviously, there's the controversial calls and stuff, but Duke blew it.
You know who else blew it?
Yeah.
Mark, is me.
Yeah,
I had all 4 of the Final Four teams on Kalshi,
Right.
and you better believe I sold that Houston.
Of course, man, dude. The only
Kept
people
the
that won
Duke.
was Vegas.
Sold the Florida.
The books
I mean,
won big.
Houston live with 25 seconds of gameplay left was probably like a 1 in a million chance to win.
Yeah,
it was a collapse.
Pretty sad situation. All right, what do you do? What do you do if you know you're going to lose a race, but you really want to win it? What do you do?
Cheat, lie, steal,
Cheat.
buy it. Yeah.
right. Rig
Yeah.
it. Rig.
Yeah.
Rig it. Rig. Well, you know
Kill
who
your
didn't?
opponent.
You know who didn't rig it was
True.
Allison Riggs.
Poison. Good poison.
Allison Riggs, who's the incumbent Supreme Court justice down there in North Carolina. She didn't
Going
rig
against AI Grizzly Nose Butts.
it. Jefferson Griffin. Grizzly knows butts. Jefferson Griffin.
Yeah, they're pretty young. She's the incumbent, and she's like that's okay.
And I think it's
But-
an 8-year term, Willie. It's like a 6
Wow.
or 8-year term. It's a long term. I'm so
Okay.
glad that the
These ones-
states, as
Right.
backward as they are, don't appoint justices for life. Because 6 to 8, give it a 10-year term. I don't care. That's okay
Sure.
with me.
These two like got out of law school and went to being a judge, an elected judge. Like she's that young. It's like
Yeah, she's that one. Let's see how young she. We are in that
she
weird.
looks in her picture.
No, we're in that weird part of our lives where like I'm like picking up on some like 50-year-old congressmen women. I'm like, yeah, she's cute. She's all right looking. You know, that's how old we are. She's 43 or 44, born in 1980 or 1981.
Right. So she is at the end of an 8-year term. So she got into elected judgeship at like 30 something, mid 30s.
Straight to
That's right.
judging.
Straight to judging. Anyway, there was an election this November 15, obviously, around there, for Supreme Court judge. And Jefferson Griffin, he was challenging Allison Riggs. Now, the Supreme Court in North Carolina, as you might imagine, is a majority conservative. I think it's a 5-2 majority. But Riggs is on there. She's on there. And the race
She's a
happened.
Democrat? Is
She's
she
a Democrat.
on
She's
the-
one of the two Democrats. Jefferson Griffin's a challenging Republican.
Okay.
Now, before the race even happened, a couple months before the race, there was a lawsuit brought by the GOP down there trying to get a bunch of people kicked off the voter rolls, right? Mostly in Democratic areas, but they were saying, "Hey, let's see if we can't."
These Riggs voters are fake.
Nudge this in our direction a little bit, and look, that didn't
It's
happen.
in her name, Riggs.
Didn't happen.
True.
See what I'm saying there? Why they
Yeah.
call her Riggs if she ain't rigging this shit? But
Yeah.
like
Answer that.
She's telling you.
that lawsuit didn't work out. Okay, whoever heard it was like, "What are you doing? Get out of here with this bullshit. What are you doing?" And then the election happened. Guess what? Riggsy won. Now, not by a lot. In fact, by a little, a
Okay.
tiny
All right.
little sliver. 734 votes she won by.
Whoa.
Now that's out of 5.5
a
million.
riggable amount.
A
Yeah.
riggable amount.
That is.
5.5 million ballots cast.
Whoa.
That's crazy, dude.
Tight little election. Tight little election. there.
100,000.
One for you and one for you. One for you. Yeah, that's a close one.
So obviously, you naturally, if you're Jefferson Griffin, the challenger, you're gonna ask for a recount, and you should
get a
get
recount,
one, dude.
Yeah, you get one within a certain margin.
We're gonna get you we're gonna get your recount, right? We're gonna get your recount, and you better believe he requested a recount in the Supreme Court race. That was on November 19, 2024, and they were like, "All right, we're gonna get you that recount," and you think, yeah. Hey man, if they got it wrong, and there's a chance they could have, because what a tight little wet little margin here. There's a chance they could have got this wrong, and then you know
900 is still like, it would be surprising that it would be.
it's 734, so not even 900, but yeah, but out of 5.5
okay, so
million,
730.
You could have miscounted a bundle,
exactly.
True, but yeah, still that's I mean that 734. I mean, I guess it's possible, but
This guy should
Right.
be on the cover of Smile 3. I mean, just a total freak show.
Yeah, he's
Well, he looks exactly like that dude Todd Crisley guy,
He
right?
looks like
Except for with like brown hair.
Yeah, he looks like a scarier somehow version of Todd Crisley.
Look, I'm going to be honest with you. Those smile photos get worse when you hear as this story goes on. Now, it's the same smile, but contextually, it just gets worse and worse. So, you file for a recount.
He started pulling out the stops. Yeah.
He started pulling out the stops, Willie.
Well, I'm going to find those rigged votes.
Right. You file for a recount. That's totally understandable. Right. But what you don't do is the next day. Right. If you think maybe there's a chance that they got it wrong, then you let the recount happen. That was on the 19th. He asked for the recount. On the 20th, he said, but I know that's not what it is, because he filed a series of election protests challenging over 65,000 ballots cast in the race, mostly from, guess what, Democratic leaning counties. So he said, give me that recount. Also, can we throw these 65,000 out? It was what they were trying to do.
Basically tried the lawsuit. Yeah, he did. With the lawsuit that got thrown out after the election, he just basically brought it back and was like, yeah, but I'm still going to sue again over these areas.
You think even more Todd Crisley than Todd Crisley is used to getting his way?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. This guy likes getting his way. And
this is not going to end until he gets his way.
They want to get their way down there. Now, look, if you look at data about challenged elections, I don't know why. There's always been disagreements in elections, but they really spiked post 2020. I don't know why, but like if you look at the map in terms of challenging election results, for whatever reason, 2020 on, they just really shot through the roof there. Anyway, here's bad news for Griffin. So he files that lawsuit. He requests the recount. December 3, recount comes in. Guess what? Same thing. Riggs still up to 730.
At this point, you got to just go ahead and give the old consolation speech. But he's holding on to these lawsuits like they're gonna deliver.
Well, hold on. December 4th, he asked for a second
Count
recount.
it again.
Count it again. That's what happens. He says, I want you to hand count it this time.
Yeah.
All right.
And they did. And they got the exact same results. That was December 10th. The second recount takes place by hand. And Riggs again.
Well, that's what usually prevents multiple recounts, is because people are typically scared of looking like a complete fucking moron, right? Like that's like usually the reason that this works out well is because like you look like a total dumbass when you keep asking for a recount and the count keeps being the same. Like that's
no shame after a lifetime of people shrieking at your appearance.
Right, and really, that might be why they picked a dumbass to run, because he doesn't give a fuck. They're going to take this thing. The challenges did not stop, guys. They would meet a federal or district judge, not federal, but a district judge in the state of North Carolina, who'd say, "What is this bullshit?" Dismissed, and they'd say, "Appeals court," and then they'd say, "What is this bullshit?" And then dismissed, and it's going to be hard for it to get where it's eventually going, guys, but it might get there, because on last week, finally, a special appointed panel of 3 judges, 2 conservative, 1 Democrat, voted 2-1 to
count it again.
Force the 65,000 people to verify their voting eligibility or their registration eligibility, and they have 15 business days to do so. Get going.
Wow.
Or they're
doing a retroactive,
or they're going to throw out the vote. So they're going back to all 65,000 questionable votes in Democratic leaning areas and are saying, "Hey,
wow.
Hey, do you remember when you
That is crazy.
Hey, you. Oh, you can't hear me? Oh, okay, no, never worries. I was going to ask you something about your vote, but it's okay. Don't worry about it.
It's a trend. It's a trend. Even in that Wisconsin election where Elon threw all that money at it to try to win it, he could not win the judgeship, but still Wisconsin voted for voter ID. So like it's a trend that's like kind of picking up steam. That's a little bit bipartisan. The whole like voter verification thing. So
I'm totally fine with voter verification, but you can't retroactive.
Retroactive is nuts.
No, you gotta implement that, and then that would be bad.
Look, guys,
now, this would get thrown out in court. Ironically enough, though, Pat, if
this is going to be in court forever.
This is going to be in court forever, even if they throw out the vote, then that's going to get thrown out.
Here's why it might not, and certainly won't get thrown out in court, guys, because guess where it's ultimately going to go?
Yeah,
the U.S. Supreme Court.
The North Carolina Supreme Court, which we sure know has a 5 maybe, we'll see. I don't know. They're not dropping it. The judge, the ruling that happened last week where they said they had to, in fact, challenge these 65,000 votes and have the people come in and
crazy.
verify. And by the way, guys, most experts are saying that the information in question is literally at no fault of the voters' own. Right? It's like a
Right. No, it's
database
just
issue.
because,
Yeah,
it's
some of
just
these people might be dead, or they might have moved.
But here's what they said: the judge
North
who made the ruling.
Kakalaki sending a message on voter ID. That's crazy.
The judge who
What
made the
happens in
ruling
5
said
months?
something to the effect of, "If even one vote is counted wrong, the entire state will be disenfranchised." So we can't have that happen.
Dude,
So
I told you. Can we bet on this guy on Kalshi? He gets his way. I'm gonna.
He's gonna get his way.
He's gonna get
his way. You called it. He's gonna get his way.
He's getting in. I'd like to bet on him to get in, even though the odds look bad now, and he's lost 3 counts. He's gonna get in.
I mean, we told you 3 times you didn't win, buddy.
He cuts him off. You want to hear the
his
results?
way.
Just count it.
Oh
again.
man.
I don't want to hear the
So
results. Yeah.
So the recounts. I mean, he's doing everything he can to just extend it out.
Look, this has been. They knew this. They knew this might happen. Some people were calling this maybe like 8 months ago, 9 months ago that this was going to be.
He was never going to concede. Yeah.
And election experts are saying this is by far the worst example ever of, potentially not accepting the results of an election. And
wouldn't it go to the Supreme Court too? I mean, because they would try.
The Democrats are saying they'll take it to federal court because it might violate the Constitution technically, but who knows?
That's who I want as a top judge. A guy who refuses to accept the rulings.
Count it again.
No matter what. So
count it again.
Yeah.
I mean, you already have a supermajority. What are you doing, buddy?
I can tell by your demeanor. You need to count it again.
Count it again.
You're not telling me what day I start.
that guy.
Who won the club championship?
Crazy.
I said, who won the club? Who's the champion of this club? You are king. You are king. Anyway, guys, Turtle Beach makes some fantastic headphones. Just absolutely amazing headphones. If you're a gamer, or even if you're not a gamer, but specifically if you are a gamer, I didn't know before Turtle Beach sent us these headphones that I was gaming wrong the whole time. I was gaming just with the speakers from my television like a dummy, and then I put these things on, and I felt like I was immersed in the game in a way that I never have been before, and that's dead on. Beyond that, guys, these things have insane battery life. Just nutso battery life.
It's a little crazy how strong it is. Yeah.
Battery life.
Yeah, why
with
doesn't
a quick
everyone have
charge.
this type of battery life?
They have the technology at
thing.
Turtle Beach. Yeah.
Look, they figured it out, okay?
Yeah.
They figured it out over there at Turtle Beach. The audio is richer. The surround is more immersive. And guess what? You're in your 30s or 40s now, if you're 68% of our audience, okay? And your wife or husband, probably your wife, she's over you playing video games, okay?
She doesn't want
Never
to
know.
hear it. Yeah.
She'll
She
never
wants
She doesn't want to hear it. She doesn't want to hear
pop
you
Turtle
say,
Beach on.
count it again. So for a limited time only, you can get 10% off your entire order. That's the entire order. They got a bunch of other accessories there on the Turtle Beach website as well. If you use code HARDFACTOR, that's one word, at turtlebeach.com. Don't miss out. Level up your game with 10% off at turtlebeach.com using promo code HARDFACTOR. That's one word.
Hell yeah.
Oh, also, they're going to ask you where you heard about us, and please tell them we'll be at Hard Factors with the boys.
Yeah. Tell them that.
Tell them Hard Factors saying.
Chiller says you got to turn the PS5 beep off too, which is a good point. You got to turn.
Yeah, that's the only thing that'll get you caught is the initial beep. That's it.
Yeah, dude. I'm still on 4, so the rev up too.
Well, here's what he says. You'd be like, "I'll be right to bed," but then she'll start snoring, and then she won't hear you after the initial beep.
6 a.m.
Yeah. Then you crawl to bed at 6 a.m.
But your Turtle Beaches are still strong. I mean, 99% battery.
Then you throw the pod on because the pod comes out midnight Eastern every night. Okay,
It just rolls on. All right, AI is coming for
setup.
lawyers' jobs, guys. Not quite yet, as Jerome DeWald found out recently. Now, Jerome DeWald, let me see if I can find. He was a plaintiff for an employment dispute case and that was on March 26th. He was appearing in front of a panel of 5 judges at New York State Supreme Court's Appellate Division's First Judicial Department. And here they are. There's the panel of judges. And then there, I believe on the bottom left is potentially a lawyer or defendant. And on the bottom right in that box, that's Jerome DeWald. Oh, wait.
No, wait. So on the bottom left is an older looking black guy. And on the bottom right looks like a TV host who's a white guy.
Yeah, nope. This guy.
I put the Jerome on the left personally, and that's just knowing a couple black Jeromes.
Oh, Jerome Powell. You got to think about that.
Well, or a Jewish
Jeromes.
Jerome, like Jerry Seinfeld, Jerome Seinfeld.
Yeah, sure, exactly. That's true. But I think that the panel of judges either knew what Jerome DeWald looked like or were on that same tip, because DeWald asked if he could play his defense pro se, which means he was defending himself, and he's like, I'd like to play my video. I'd like to show my video now of me pleading my case, if that's okay. And the judges said, sure. It's kind of stupid that you're going pro se, but yes, go ahead, defend yourself. And that's when this guy popped up and started talking. And this guy, handsome man starts saying, he said, if it may please the court, I would like to start pleading my case pro se. And then all of a sudden the judges said, hold the fuck on. That's clearly not Jerome DeWald.
Pro se means representing yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. And so black Jerome didn't have an attorney, and then Jewish Jerome popped up.
Whatever Jerome DeWald looks like, which is, I found this guy a lot when I looked up Jerome DeWald.
That's Jewish Jerome.
It could be Jewish Jerome or black Jerome, but
he's an elderly Jewish guy.
It's a lot more like this or like the black guy than the handsome man.
Gotcha.
And I think the court knew that.
Wait. Okay, so did the guy have an attorney originally?
The AI avatar is a blonde guy. He looks like Lieutenant Guile.
No, Pat, he was allowed to represent himself pro se.
Okay.
So he did that, but he did that via a handsome AI avatar that was talking in a robotic voice and pretending to be Jerome DeWald. And it
looks like he's going to hand the judge a rose, is what it looks like. He's going to call a rose ceremony.
Exactly. Right. So the judges stopped it and said, "There's no way this is Jerome DeWald. What are we watching?
It's your computer."
Yeah. What is this?
Well, Jerome made an AI video of a lawyer. So
yes.
Let Jerome's AI avatar have its day in court.
Let the dice tumble.
Yeah.
Let's see what
did the judge say? Did the judge let it?
Weren't too happy.
Give me a break, Judge.
They were like, we were told Jerome DeWald's a lot uglier than this. And so the exact exchange was female judge Manzanet Daniel said, "Okay, hold on. Is that your counsel for the case?" And then DeWald says, "I generated that. That's not a real person." She said, "Yeah, no shit." And then the judge said, "That would have been nice to know before I allowed the video to be played, making me look like an idiot." And then she started screaming for the court tech guy to shut the video off across the room. And she said she didn't like being misled. And that's when DeWald realized he'd made a grave mistake.
Oh, because he should have clarified, I have secured AI representation for this case.
Right. It's the first time ever that someone's defended themselves as a handsomer AI version of themselves.
So if he had just said, my representative is an AI, would you allow that? She would have what happens then?
She probably would have said no.
So this is actually pretty.
She
this
didn't
is
want
the
to be
perfect
in the news for having an AI generated pro se lawyer.
She would have been in the news either way. Hate to break it to the judge, because even if he had just requested an AI representative, she would have been the first one to deny it. So either way, she was going to the news. This lady, I'm sorry that she hates the fact that this dude did this in her court, but it was going to make the news either way.
Oh, he did.
What state was it in?
New York.
Okay, and what was it? What was he charged of again?
Well, he's the plaintiff, not the defendant, in an employment dispute of some sort. So
okay, he's
bringing action against an employer, and
he's
judge,
trying to be as persuasive as possible by having
the judge was like, how dare you not warn me that your pro se defense was going to be an AI avatar? How dare you? Which I mean, I don't know. It was either way, whether he requested the thing to represent him or whether he said it was pro se. It was going to
She
make the
doesn't like
news.
AI. Clearly, Will.
Yeah, well, so many people
I don't
seem to
think
be
she likes
just
AI.
petrified of it. Yeah.
Now, DeWald later penned an apology to the court saying, my bad. I didn't mean to do anything
Right.
out of line here.
Appropriate.
And he said, I didn't have a lawyer representing me, so I went for the pro se thing. And then I figured it's better to have a handsome man deliver it than ugly me, Jerome, who stumbles and mumbles and tumbles and trips all over his words like a big dumb idiot. That's what he said.
Right. Right.
So I wrote
That's
it all
why
out.
I'm suing my former employer because they didn't like that
Because
aspect.
they call me big dumb super idiot.
So the court must provide in New York any litigant a pro se handbook ahead of time, which theoretically you could just have AI suck up pretty quick, right? Like, read this thing and stick to these rules, baby girl.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, well, for like legal paperwork and stuff, AI's already got to be.
This is coming.
Revolutionizing things.
There
will be somebody. Yeah, because a lot of cases, the AI lawyer is going to be better than the public defender you would be given, right? Like, so once it becomes like an option, yeah, dude, people are going to be like, yeah, give me the fucking robot.
No, it's like,
yeah, but
did they pass the bar? I don't know. If you represent yourself, I guess you're allowed to have it's like an extension of yourself. I don't really know what the ruling is there.
It's going to be crazy though, because it's, effectively like,
is the AI using its AI though, or is it just answering what you typed out? Because if you can represent yourself, sorry to cut you off again, Pat, but if you can represent yourself and you type everything out, that's coming from you. But if the AI is using its knowledge base or the internet, that's not really.
Of course, that's what you're relying it on. Yeah. So like, I mean, it's just not capable of that today. But eventually, there'll be like literally robot chassis where you could dress it like a lawyer.
Yeah,
and it could go in there and use its AI neural.
But again, it's different
to
representing yourself versus it being an actual lawyer. There's like right.
Well, what about buying your own AI robot lawyer?
I think you'll be able to do that in the future for sure.
Or what if it's like they have those new things where you can upload yourself, like you can create an avatar of yourself. What if it was you, an avatar of yourself?
That's what he was kind of going for, but he they didn't get there. I think that's what he was trying to do, because in his apology letter, he said, yeah, I worked with the Silicon Valley tech company in San Francisco. We created this AI avatar. The original plan was to make the AI look a lot more like me, but I ran out of time, so I went with handsome man.
That's not true.
Yeah, he never intended to. But that's
not fucking true.
That's what he said.
This was mostly to get around you having to look at me.
Yeah,
with
exactly.
you, Jerome, or network television dating show host.
He had good intentions at first. It was going to be just him, digitalized, but
yeah, I mean, dude, if you have true AI representation, you're going to have AI judges, because like if you're arguing, precedential cases that are coming from like deep within the coffers that aren't like traditionally argued, because you have access to every case that's ever happened. I don't know, man. It's going to be an issue.
Well, probably
AI lawyers are going to fuck up human judges so bad, like at that stage. Like, I'm sure the judges will put a stop to it. Like you guys say, they're going to make it so it's legislatively not possible for.
Who was Trump's lawyer that turned on him eventually? The guy.
All of them.
Yep. No, the main guy.
Michael Cohen.
Yeah, Michael Cohen. So it's happened a few times in the past for Michael Cohen's law firm and other law firms. It's part of these articles I read, and it's public information. They used AI tools for research to look up previous cases, and the AI's hallucinated, made up cases, and Cohen used that as didn't check it, and he got in trouble because it's happened in court a few times where these big law firms have used AI, and then they just make up precedent from thin air, from fictitious cases with fictional names. Yeah,
that's why we tariffed the Penguins.
It could be. I mean,
that's the like number one working
people are there.
theory.
Yeah. AI does make mistakes. So, anyways,
that's about the calculation. Yeah.
No, about adding the McDonald Islands
because no one lived there
to the tariff list was because they use AI to generate
a list of people.
No, it's because they've sold us stuff within the last 5 years.
The Penguins.
Yeah.
No, the fishery that's on McDonald and Heard Islands. They have a transaction with us in 2022.
Okay. So, and by the way, DeWald's case still pending, but it's not looking good for him. It's not looking good. We'll let you know if he wins. Judge is not happy with him.
Yeah, no, I mean, as the first guy, I mean, hey, good try, but as the first guy to try to like sneak AI into your defense, no, I mean, it's not going to go well for you. But you're a revolutionary, you know.
Yeah.
He's paving the way, because in the future they're not going to want to have judges have this reaction that this lady had and like freak out and be like,
turn on the camera, I hate fucking AIs, get out of here.
Screamed.
yeah, like I mean, the judges are gonna try to cook up something better than that next time it happens.
Trust me, you'd rather hear it from this guy than me. Let's just look at this guy.
I submit to you myself and then the image of the AI avatar. Who would you rather hear speak?
Yeah. Well, this is what I'd like to look like, Judge.
No, good for him. It takes some balls. And he like he developed the whole thing. That's crazy.
No, well, he worked with a Silicon Valley company. He paid
Right.
big money to get the handsome man.
He paid to have somebody. Yeah. Decent idea. Worth a shot. Of course, now he's probably in the hole because he's not going to get the money from the settlement or any paid for the thing. So.
Both. But yeah, but he is the first guy to do it though. Yeah.
And he's got that feather in his cap.
Yeah.
All right. Guys being dudes or dudes. Is that a pardon my take thing? Dudes being guys, man time. I don't know what you call this.
Man Time magazine is our thing.
Sure. Man Time magazine segment here. Lots of man news over the weekend. Obviously, Alex Ovechkin, as we mentioned at the top of the show, is now the top NHL goal scorer of all time. The king of lighting the lamp. And that dominated a lot of headlines. Yeah, well, it's man time. Alex Ovechkin.
It's so hard to Google
there.
too because of Time Man of the Year.
Yeah.
True. But it's a great. It's
awesome.
It's a great brand. Man Time.
Ovechkin will be on the cover this week.
Ovechkin will definitely be on the cover of Man Time magazine this week.
Oh. Honey, where is my issue of Man Time?
Yeah.
You know I need the Man Time magazine.
Where is it, hon?
As soon as it hits the mailbox.
I'm missing my Ovechkin.
I talked to the carrier. He said he dropped it here.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so Ovechkin, he did it. They said that Wayne Gretzky's record could never be broken, but the Russian machine never breaks. He broke the record. A lot more power play goals than Wayne Gretzky, but allegedly the goalies were worse back then. So you can't blame him. You know, he's just doing what he just breaks the goal record when he's alive.
I also saw, which is cool, he did it like pretty much the exact same amount of games, like within one game of each other.
One game less.
Yeah.
One game.
That's
exactly
cool.
One game less
So cool.
To tie it and break it. Yeah. Crazy. Catching up with the men of the Hardo Hive, the listeners of Hard Factor. Pepper Life Adventures in Florida. He gave us his assessment of taking 1,300 milligrams of edibles all at once. He said he's very stoned, but really just doing the normal stuff, Fortnite and munchies. But the morning update feels like I took 30 Benadryl. And here's Pepper when he was at work the next day. Looks like he took 30 Benadryl.
Yeah, that'll get you the next day.
Yeah.
Groggy. Yeah.
Yeah. Be a little groggy. He's out there with the chainsaw all day. After that,
It's man. If you be eating those edibles, it's hard to wake up. It's hard to get up if you be eating those
that many MGs. Yeah, that'll hit you. That'll hit you hard.
Everyone knows that you can't get a hangover, or like with weed. People, that's like the big thing against alcohol. But you can get a groggy over.
You can get a groggy over for sure, and I think Pepper proved that. But he also proved, like, I think the genesis of that was we've done a lot of stories about crazy stuff that people do on high dose edibles, and 1,300 milligrams, and all it was a Benadryl hangover. Take that into account. That's some real life research right there. Now Pepper's tolerance is high, and AB in the Hardo Hive took action in memory of Val Kilmer getting a Huckleberry. I'm your Huckleberry leg tat.
Holy
really fucking
shit!
Whoa!
Right? You got that right. You got that on in memory. All right.
The R's are handguns.
That's right.
And look at the stash. It's
I'm your
perfect.
Huckleberry. Yeah, it is a perfect silhouette. Yeah.
Damn.
Doc Holliday.
The-
Val Kilmer.
The,
That's
ha-
awesome.
the
Nice work,
handguns
AD.
are those period too?
It's
Because
think
it's like a tombstone era.
they're 1911s, so nothing too new, but no. I think they wanted to get them looking like ours.
The
Don't
heat
look a gift
guns.
horse in the mouth, Pat. That's an awesome tattoo.
No, I'm just I love it.
That's some Man Time magazine stuff right there.
I love my favorite section of Man Time is in the
tattoos.
back.
The
Tats
tattoos.
for the boys.
Yeah, tats for the boys. Dudes with great tattoos.
Oh, that's the section.
Or current event tattoos. In the back.
Why haven't we started
That's
Man
a
Time
huge,
magazine?
huge part of Man Time magazine. So
We would
I mean,
probably-
that's the next thing.
We would probably certainly get. I mean, that's a trademark infringement argument by far.
Oh,
by
Man
the
Time. We can hyphenate it.
Yeah, it would have to.
No, it's 50% original. Your time. We're Man Time.
If we might have to spell it THYME and make it a gardening magazine.
It is. Look, it's got legs. Man Time magazine has always been a favorite amongst the hosts here. So that's catching up with the men of the Hive. Other guys having man times around the world recently.
What about Man Time Monthly? What I think, I'll be honest with you, Man Time Monthly or Man Time Quarterly would get us away from the trademark infringement for sure.
Monthly, because the M's.
Yeah.
Man Time Monthly. It's
Alliteration.
nice.
Yeah.
MTM. Okay. And yes, I mean, there's a lot of, there would be tons of news. A lot of our news is Man Time Monthly worthy. And this one is no exception. Because a dude having a man time recently includes this guy, Sergey Vitvilyuk. Sergey Vitvilyuk, 44 years old, of Skokie, Illinois. You'd think Ukraine or Russia, but no.
I was in
he's
fucking
from
Skokie today. I was in Skokie today, dude.
Well, okay. Well, he's in your fucking neighborhood. This guy, Sergey, 44 from Skokie, Illinois. And you see
Hard
it's
time
a
of the
hard
month.
time of the month.
Yeah, dude.
Holy shit.
Man Time. That's the best.
That's the
Man
fucking
Time Monthly.
tagline for sure. Man
Shout
Time
out.
Monthly.
Live interview
Tiller.
coming from Tiller. It's our time of the month for
Oh,
Man Time
shit.
Monthly.
That's
We
it.
gotta
That's
do
the
this.
branding. That's the whole thing. All right. Trademark.
All right.
Registered. All right. You can't
I'm
take
buying
that.
Yeah.
Man Time Monthly. It's our time of the month. Okay. So this dude, Sergey Vitvilyuk, Pat, 44 years old. He's in Skokie, Illinois, in your neighborhood. This is in your neck of the woods. That's his pick again. See, Sergey was cruising around with his wife and 2 kids late last month, March 24th, after a marriage counseling session in a nearby town near Skokie.
Sergey didn't like that. I'll tell you that much.
No, bad night for Sergey. As usual, Sergey's wife accused him of being drunk on the drive home.
Oh, yeah.
And so, pretty standard stuff, unfortunately. So Sergey thought, what better way to prove to his wife and kids that were somehow with them in the car for all of this, that he was in fact not driving them drunk by taking a breathalyzer at the Vernon Hills Police Department, which is just a mere few hundred yards from the marriage counselor's office that they were just in. So, hey,
He drove himself to the police.
Well, Mark, what else do you do when you get out of marriage counseling and your wife says you're drunk behind the wheel and you see a police station across the street and you want to prove that you're not drunk? What do you do? It's the perfect opportunity.
That's one way to definitively do it if you're not. Yeah.
Well, yeah. How else are you going to prove you're not drunk if you don't take that challenge right there? So that's what Sergey did. And he was immediately arrested for blowing a .137 BAC. And he drove into the police station and said, give me the breathalyzer. And they did it. And then he blew the 0.137. And that makes the turkey actually for Sergey. He's actually done this twice before, 2019 and 2022. So
But he didn't
not
turn
gr-
himself in all 3 times, right? Those
I'm
were
not
the
sure.
cops had to do work the other 2 times, right?
The details weren't clear on that. If all 3 were him turning himself into the police station to blow a breathalyzer, or if I'm assuming he just got caught, making traffic violations.
They're like,
No,
you can just not drive, Sergey.
No, guys, I'll tell you what happened. They're in the couples counseling session, okay, and the drinking comes up as it always does, okay.
There we go.
And as they're leaving the session,
again.
they get out there, and she says, she's right, and he goes, "What do you mean she's right?" "About the drinking, Sergey." And then that explodes. Okay, they take the drinking conversation out to the car, and she says, "Oh yeah, Sergey, I'm crazy. You're drunk right now." And that's when he says, "I'm drunk right now.
Yeah.
I'm drunk right now."
That's when he drove straight to the police station, and he said,
"I'll show you how drunk I am."
and he said, "Listen, I am drunk. I'd rather be in jail than spend the
"Yeah,
night.
lock me up, officer.
Lock me up." Yeah.
Yeah, probably something like that. Hey, did either of you guys ask for a GoDaddy verification code? Off topic, but Wes just texted this in the middle of the thing.
Yeah, because I'm
trying to
fucking
get
buying.
Man Time magazine.
Why do you think? Because I'm fucking buying Man Time Monthly, Man
How else
Time
to
magazine,
show
all
up
the
to fucking
variations.
I
show
can't
and maybe he'd know.
check your text. I can't tell you the verification. I can't share it to the entire Heart of Hive. But hey, get in there, get that Man Time Monthly. Perfect. And
I'm buying the goddamn domain name, Will.
Yes, thank you, Pat. Thank you. Yeah, but that was Sergey. Final Man Time Man of the Day. An unnamed orthopedic surgeon in Queensland, Australia. That's I think it's like the northeastern bit of the something over there. He has been fined for $10,000 for texting via WhatsApp a photo he took of a swastika tattoo on a patient's penis. Okay, now in the orthopedic surgeon's defense,
take a picture of that.
right? You see a swastika on a penis. First of all, you got to snap a picture. That's just I don't think you can avoid it. In the doctor's defense, on top of that, he was treating the man after a homemade pipe bomb went off in his hands back in 2019. So he's like a domestic terrorist, and he's treating him, and then he saw the swastika tattooed onto his dick, and so he had to tell somebody. You can't take that to the grave.
Right.
You can't just like be treating a fucking domestic terrorist who blew himself up with a pipe bomb and not share the swastika tattooed on his penis. You can't do it. You can't.
Guess what, Will?
Keep that to yourself.
Guess what, Will? Page 40 to 43 every month is gonna be anonymous tales from the job. Can you believe this shit?
That's right. That's right. And this doctor could have shared it with us. But instead, what he did, because you can't keep something like that on your chest forever, texted it.
This one might get ahead of page 40, Pat.
Yeah,
We might lead with this one.
Yeah. It's that good. I mean, if we had the full
Cover
details.
story.
He texted it via WhatsApp to the other doctors in the hospital group chat, which of course some fucking nerd in the group chat reported him for breaking the law, obviously. But now he owes
best WhatsApp anyone's ever sent in the history of the world. Swastika tattoo on the guy's penis.
Yeah, on a dude who blew up his hands because he's a fucking idiot.
You're gonna have to break it to the beard club. We're gonna have to bump him off the cover this week for swastika.
Yeah,
swastika.
Excellent title.
It's what it
for
sounds
Man
like.
Time Monthly. Wow. It's writing itself. And now this guy, unfortunately, for being a good Samaritan and sharing that type of news with his coworkers, owes $10,000, probably to the Australian government, probably not to the domestic terrorist who with the Nazi insignia tattooed on his penis. So
Okay, but maybe it's just because he likes to beat up Nazis.
maybe so. I mean, hey, worth it. $10,000 to get that off your chest, and you're an orthopedic surgeon. Worth it. 100%.
Because they're pussies. That's where they go. In
Exactly.
no, that's it.
We'll workshop it. Look, look.
Explain my swastika on my dick because I regret it. So come up with something. It's because they're dicks.
Yeah. No, that guy, yeah, he's just, No, he's just an idiot. He blew up his hands with a pipe bomb, and the orthopedic surgeon was just doing his job, and was just being a man of the month right there, sharing that kind of photo with your coworkers. And that's going to do it for this edition of Hard Factor and the Man Time monthly segment. We'll get back to this one because put a pin in that. It's got legs, but most importantly, get out there and have yourselves a great fucking day.
The cream of the crop!